incident where your identity is questioned or someone's told you to go back to your country, no matter how insignificant it may seem, please do call police and report those incidents so that we can show that, yes, hate is rising and we need to do something about it. And there are a lot of great programs that are being offered out in the community, different communities, and the government is coming up with a lot of funding to support these programs to combat hate. I should go back to my transcript that I have. So I work in VPD, hate crime investigator. There's two of us. It used to be one officer who dealt with all these incidents or looked at all the incidents where suspect was motivated by hate, bias, or prejudice. And now that in recent years, obviously starting from pandemic, it's realized that the numbers have gone up and it needs to be, there's obviously a need of more police officers who are focusing on this type of work. So far, we only have two. I'm waiting for my partner. She's not here yet, but someone has been identified. We're part of the diversity unit. Our section is called Diversity, Community, Indigenous Relations section, where we have community liaison officers. They directly liaise with a lot of different communities, Muslim community, Jewish community, Sikh community, Black community, every single community, so that we can find out what the issues are in that community, how we can help them to combat hate or if they need any resources. My role in this department is, as I said, as a hate crime investigator, I focus on occurrences that are motivated by hate, bias, or prejudice. I review and assess all the files that have any hate element attached to it. I work closely with all the liaison officers that are in their department who are dealing with different communities. So I'm very aware of emerging trends pertaining to Vancouver's diverse communities. I provide training to the frontline officers so that they understand that if someone has dialed that number, 911, or the non-emergency number to report hate or to report an incident, why is it so important for us to take that seriously? Because as I talked about it in the beginning, that normalizing, a lot of us have normalized it over the years, so we spend a lot of time contemplating whether we should even call the police or not, whether it's police-worthy time or not. Like, I know I've been in those situations, my parents have been in those situations where they didn't dial that number, only because they thought it was gonna waste police's time. I'm here to tell you that's not the case. So please do dial that number, whether it's emergency. You guys know the difference between emergency and non-emergency. If there are suspects there happening right now, immediate danger, call 911. Otherwise, if it has happened and you have more information to add, just call the non-emergency number. So, so the members are given the resources that they can offer to all the victims. I do community outreach where I go into the community, do presentations such like this, and I speak with newcomers, with the ISS of BC. I've worked with CRRF. I did the workshops that took place in May in Victoria and in Vancouver. I was part of that. The first day was for the police resources. The second day was the community, and I was part of the community. And I want to say that although I was told that there's a lot of hate in the community towards police, I know that there's no hate towards police. It is just lack of, I would say, not knowing that what resources can police offer. The communication is not there. It's not as prevalent as it should be. So we're here to open those communications and have you guys come and approach us if you need something. Not unless you tell us what resources you need, what kind of help we can provide as police officers, we won't be able to do that. I liaise with the BC Hate Crimes team and our designated Crown Counsel. So if there's a file that comes through that's motivated by hate, bias, or prejudice, has charges associated to it, which I'll go more in detail in a bit. So then I contact the Crown, who's a designated, and work with them to make sure that the file does go to charges. And charges are laid, and the judge is able to see the true picture of either a hate-motivated crime. So that it's not just dropped. And then I speak with the community as well to get community statements just to show the impact that it has not just on the victims and also the community as general. I reach out to the victims most of the times, being a one-person section, so I can't reach out to every single one of them, but I try to reach as many as possible, because a lot of times it's the education piece. It's about knowing that you have support available in the community, you have support available within the police department, and I offer victim services to them who can provide you millions of other resources that are available. As we know, hate, prejudice, or bias is always not overt, and we need to be attuned to this in our jurisdiction's monitoring of police reports. VPD has adopted a broad definition of hate crimes to include what is referred to as hate incidents, as the hate incidents are non-criminal matters that are sometimes have significant impact on communities. We have shared stats that are based on broad definition, and it should be noted that the hate crime definition is not the same as the one utilized by Stats Canada. This can explain why stats reporting differs, and it's most important to know that the geographical region being reported on and also the definition utilized. Comparing stats without clearly defining these metrics is neither useful or responsible. The broad definition we utilize allows us to identify emerging trends, identify potential suspects, and ensure the file linkage. We include the hate propaganda criminal code offenses, both section 318, 319. We know those ones, genocide or willful promotion of hatred. The mischief section pertaining to religious or cultural properties. So we ask for the 718.2. Under the section 718.2, sub A, sub I, this is where we're asking for aggravating factors. So if there is suppose there is assault that has occurred and we know that it was motivated by hate, bias, or prejudice, then it's my job in Vancouver to speak to and provide the documents showing that this was in fact motivated by hate, bias, or prejudice and ask for aggravating factors, so which means additional sentencing. That's what we're asking for. That's how it's different on that level. I know we only have 15 minutes, so I'm going to try and rush it as I can. Hate crimes is not defined in Canadian law. The term hate crime is commonly used to describe a range of criminal and non-criminal events that may involve hate, prejudice, or bias. So the terms that we look at is hate crime, hate-motivated crimes, hate-motivated incidents, and hate propaganda crimes. Hate-motivated crimes are the ones that are committed against a person or property, in part or in whole or in part by the suspect's hate, bias, or prejudice against an identifiable group. So the two things that are needed is that we need a criminal offense, which means it could be assault, uttering threats, harassment, and that suspect was motivated by hate, bias, or prejudice. So they are hate-motivated crimes. So then the second one is a hate-motivated incident. So that's the difference between the two. So one has a criminal offense attached to it.